This is John Paul Wright. I'm coming from Tokyo, Japan. Looks like I gotta talk about Blade possibly being Muslim. And here's the thing. On this channel, I have never mentioned my thoughts on religion, or anything like that unless it specifically has to do with a movie or a character. Tolkien, his life story is a good example. They left out his Christianity, and I think if it was a fact in his life, it should have been in the movie. I agree with that. But aside from something that's like a brutal fact, or something that's really necessary to enhance the story of the movie, like in Tolkien's case, I leave religion out of it. And I would much rather see religion left out of fictional characters, because it just pulls them down to our world. When you go to a movie, you want to escape. You don't want to think about, well, what religion is Blade? He's a vampire slayer. And somebody rightfully brought up that he probably wouldn't be thinking about human religions. He'd probably have his own vampiric religion. If you want to make a character interesting, you make their own religion, like, say, the Jedi or the Sith. Ancient religion. It's interesting. It really adds to the mythos. It really adds to the characters. When you just say, he's a Muslim, he's a Jew, he's a Christian, you're like, oh, well, that's right, I get that. And people even have their own strong opinions about that. So, what I said in a different video was that what they're doing is they want us to have infighting to create buzz for people to see the movies, have articles written about them, videos made about them, and it's working. That's what I'm doing right now. That's what a lot of my buddies are doing right now. But the point is, they're not really heartfelt in giving Muslims representation, honor. They're just using the Muslim demographic to create buzz and sell movies. Now, you gotta do what you gotta do in business. I get that, but in this case it's low, is using something like that, because it creates real fighting. It creates real resentment. There are people who take this life and death seriously with religion. So using that to have a character become religious that wasn't in the first place, by the way, skipped a big point. I don't think he was Muslim in the first place in the original Blade. I can't recall. I know Wesley Snipes has converted to Muslim, but that doesn't matter. It's not like I see Tom Cruise's religion, like, you know, in his movies, like, you know, next Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise turns whatever religion. Don't even want to mention one. You guys get the drift. It's not like you see a religion pop up in, you know, Triple X, and now Van Diesel is some new religion. Yeah, you just don't see that. So it's just not necessary. And Marvel seems like it's getting really off the hook with this representation. It seems like once Stan Lee had passed away, that now they feel like they could go crazy. My personal theory is, I think Stan Lee probably would have had a few things to say on this, even if they were kind of neutral, even if they beat around the bush. I still think Stan Lee probably would be opposed to major changes in his characters. And, you know, people also argue with me, well, how major of a change is it? So what if Spider-Man's gay? So what if Blade is Muslim? It's just a little change. The movie could still be good. The problem is it creates a lot of debate, infighting, and even probably real fights around it, when if they just leave it out, nothing changes, and actually, the character stays the way it was. If you want a Muslim character, make a new Muslim character. There's no problem with that. No one would have a problem with that. I'd say base it in the real world, like taking place in modern times or something like that, not in like some fictional world with his vampires. So, anyway, I would rather not talk about religion, but it looks like, in this case, I have to. I've been forced to talk about this stuff because I talk about entertainment originally. I thought there was going to be a Star Wars channel, which it kind of grew out of pretty quickly. I never named it after Star Wars because I knew Star Wars was eventually going to fade away. If I had the channel for like 10 years or 7 years, I don't think I'd want to be talking about Star Wars that whole time. But the point is, now I'm forced to talk about religion, even, like in this video, gender, racism, sexuality, because those things are in entertainment now. The fact that I have to talk about these things shows how embedded they are in entertainment. I could just ignore it and just give a plain monologue review. Oh, Blade is coming out. It looks good. But that's not in my nature. I'm giving honest thoughts here, and I'm not going to ignore issues like this. That wouldn't be right. That would just be useless. That would just be a generic channel who just says the review and is too scared to get into it. From backlash, I don't want dislikes, I don't want negative comments, blah blah blah. Nope, just say what you're thinking, dude, or it's not going to turn out the way you think, in the words of Jake Skywalker. Alright, I'm doing shoutouts, special thanks, things like that. Here's some shoutouts in this video. If you're watching up to this point and you see your shoutout, you're awesome. Click subscribe if you're still here. I'm rambling. See you next time.